So you have seen right there firsthand that what we're talking about is actually true. It's happened before in history that Moabites, the scum of the earth, albinos, anybody with straight hair, right? Anybody with straight hair whose true origin is from Sodom and Gomorrah, which they have changed things and switched up history when they came in as the Ottoman Empire, so people would not know who they are. And that is the reason why every albino, anybody with straight hair today, can claim origins to be from everywhere except India. I want you to pay attention now to what I'm gonna say. It's not so long ago that albinos, anybody with straight hair, came into North and South America via Mexico. So if you're Mexican or Hispanic and you're an albino, right? And you're like, let's say, close to the age of, let's say, 70 years old. If you're close to 70 years old and still living as an albino, anybody with straight hair, it means that it's only 2 generations from you that your parents came from India. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying now. 2 generations is not that long. That means a grandparent and a parent. You lived with a grandparent and a parent who came from India. But today they have totally forgotten how their grandparents, which would have still been speaking the language of India in Farsi or Hindu or Hindi, any of the dialects, they have totally forgotten that they came from India and the language that their grandparents spoke. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying now. What kind of memory loss would cause an albino, anybody with straight hair who came from India, he's like 71 years old, and he would remember that his parents spoke the language of India? What would make them forget that and do not teach their children that they all came from India? Can you see that the albino, anybody with straight hair's genetics is nothing more than wickedness, nothing more filled with demons? For them to have forgotten where they came from and never told their children that you came from India, and today all of them claim to be native to Mexico or wherever they find themselves, when it's not so long ago, in the 1850s. I can guarantee you that if you have an African who was immigrated from Africa into America, and that he lived in America and he's 71 years, about 171 years ago, when albinos, anybody with straight hair, the scum of the earth, people who are from Sodom and Gomorrah in true origin, and named their country after Satan in India. I guarantee you that if there is an African, he would never forget where he came from. He would know and tell his children, this is the language that we spoke, this is where we were immigrated from. But the albino has totally forgotten that on purpose. What would cause such a memory loss if it is not Satanism and demonism? Because today they claim to be from everywhere else except their true origins, which is from India and then originally from Sodom and Gomorrah.